Hey guys, I hope you're all doing good. So today I wanted to make this video on ADAS, Advanced Driver Assistance System. I want to bust all the myths that surround uh, the Indian car community. Right, there has been a lot of buzz around ADAS ever since manufacturers started offering it in the Indian market. I think this would be the only video you would ever need in terms of understanding different features on offer. I think a lot of manufacturers have the same features on offer in terms of ADAS. The naming might slightly change, but at the end of the day, they're all doing the same function, right? So let's go through each of the features, taking my XUV700 as an example. So after 25,000 kilometers, what I think about various features in ADAS. More importantly, we are going to stress on how practical each of these features are. They're all there. Some say they're useful, some say they are not useful, some say they don't work in India. Let's correct them, right? It's not that they don't work in India. It's more about whether they are practical in our driving conditions is what we are going to discuss today. Before concluding on the practicality, let's walk through each of the features that's available on my XUV700 and how each of them work. Right? Without any delay, let's get started. Okay guys, let's start by exploring the different features that are on offer on my vehicle. So if you get into settings and you get into driver assistance, this is where the whole suite of ADAS features are all listed, right? So let's call them out. So there is adaptive cruise control. We are going to call ACC for the sake of this video. There is auto emergency braking, AEB, lane keep assist, smart pilot assist, and you have high beam assist and traffic sign recognition. Let's discuss about the last two, that is high beam assist and traffic sign recognition, in a whole different video. Let's stick to the other actual ADAS features for this video, okay? Before we talk about anything else, AEB, auto emergency braking, right? This is the most important one. Why is, if you don't have auto emergency braking turned on, you cannot use adaptive cruise control, ACC, right? And then if you don't have ACC turned on, you cannot use smart pilot assist. You see how all of these are interlinked? So let's get into auto emergency braking first and see what are the features on offer. Of course, you have the option to turn it off. You have the option of forward collision warning. What this does is just gives you a warning. If you get too close to the vehicle ahead of you, it gives you a warning. Hey, you're gonna end up hitting the vehicle in front of you. Okay. So it's more of a warning. It does not apply any brakes automatically. And if you see the other option inside AEB, you have auto emergency braking itself. If you have this turned on, your vehicle is going to apply brakes automatically. And there is warning level where you can control how soon all of this happen, right? Whether you want a warning or applying brakes late, I mean when you get too close to the other vehicle, or normal when you are at a decent distance, or early when you are still considerably far away from the other vehicle, right? So this is where you can control the performance of the auto emergency braking. Okay, now let's get back to ACC, that is adaptive cruise control. Okay, so as I said earlier, unless you have auto emergency braking turned on, you cannot use ACC. And inside ACC you have three options. Okay, you have slow, normal, and fast. So what does it mean? Before knowing what this is, let's talk about ACC itself. So when you turn on adaptive cruise control by pressing the cruise button on your steering wheel, the vehicle is going to cruise at the speed that you have set using the set button, right? Let's say I am cruising on a highway and I wanted to use adaptive cruise control at 90 kilometers per hour. So I'm going to basically have my auto emergency braking turned on, and then I'm going to hit on the cruise button and use the set button to set the speed at 90 kilometers per hour, right? As the name suggests, the car is going to cruise at 90 kilometers per hour, And it's also adaptive. Adaptive in the sense, let's say there is another vehicle going ahead of you. Your cruise set speed is 90, but the other vehicle in front of you, for example, your friend is driving ahead of you, right? Your friend is only going at 70 kilometers per hour. Your car is going to make sure it comes down to a speed to match the speed of your friend's vehicle at 70 kilometers per hour, and it is going to follow your friend's vehicle unless some other vehicle comes in between, or you change the lane, or your friend moves out of the lane. In any of these cases, if the if the road ahead is free, then your vehicle is going to go back to 90 kilometers per hour, because that's where you have set your cruise at. So it's basically adapting to any vehicle ahead of you, right? And it's also making sure it cruises at the speed that you have set. That's basically adaptive cruise control. There is another point to it, right? So it's not just cruising, adapting to the speed of the vehicle ahead of you. You can also control, right, how many car lengths is your vehicle going to uh, drive with respect to the vehicle ahead of you, right? For example, that information is going to be visible for you under drive assist. I'm not currently driving, but if you're driving, as you see, there is another car image, right there. And that car image in front of you is going to change to a graphic of XUV700 the moment your car detects another vehicle. Let it be a two-wheeler, let it be a four-wheeler, let it be a truck, whatever it is, right? And you can use the set button, press it to the left or the right, and you can change the number of car lengths your vehicle is going to drive corresponding to the vehicle ahead of you. So adaptive cruise control basically takes care of two things. One, it's going to take care of adapting your speed to the vehicle ahead of you and making sure you reach your set cruise speed if the road ahead of you is free. At the same time, it's also going to make sure that you stay at a safe distance, one car length, two car length, three, four car lengths distance from the vehicle ahead of you, right? So that's basically about adaptive cruise control. And just to remind you, as we discussed already, right, ACC needs emergency braking turned on. If you don't have this turned on, you will get a message saying that, hey, AEB is turned off, turn it on so that you can turn on ACC, right? So these two are closely related. And then let's talk about lane keep assist. Lane keep assist is something that's going to make sure you don't make any sudden maneuvers out of your lane, right? There was someone on the internet saying the other day that lane keep assist is going to end you up in an accident. No, it does not do that. Okay, the engineers who designed this are smart enough. They have tested it hundreds of thousands of lakhs of kilometers to make sure you get a finished product. It does not end you up in an accident. Okay, what it does is, once you get into the setting, let me show you what it exactly does. So if we go to lane keep assist, right, you have off, obviously, and then you have warning only and warning and assist. If you set it to warning only, it's going to make a sound saying that, hey, you are moving out of your lane, please come back. It's not going to intervene or do anything. It will let you move out of the lane, but it will make sure it warns you with a sound. If you turn on warning plus assist, what this does is it warns you. At the same time, it gently puts you back in your lane. It gently steers you back in your lane, right? It's not going to be sudden. It's not going to be uncomfortable. It gently steers you back in your lane to make sure you are safe. It will happily let you change lane. It will not warn, or it will not try to steer you back if you turn your indicator and then do the maneuver, right? If you're simply switching lanes without turning on the indicator, the car does not know whether you're doing it intentionally or whether you're sleeping or whether you are drunk. It doesn't know, right? So it makes sure it steers you back into the lane. It makes sure it warns you, but it will just keep quiet if you make sure that you turn on the indicator before you switch the lane, right? Wonderful feature, right? Truly life-saving. Now let's go back to Smart Pilot. Smart Pilot is like an all-rounder in cricket, right? This is a combination of every one of these features: emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist. All of these together make up your smart pilot assist, where your vehicle basically drives itself. You need to have your steering wheel, you need to have your hands on the steering wheel. You can take them off for a moment or so if you're drinking water or something real quick. But if you don't have it turned on, it will warn you and turn off the ADAS features and make sure you are alert. Smart Pilot Assist is another very useful feature if you are a frequent highway driver. We'll come to that in the conclusion. But yeah, that's more about Smart Pilot. And each of these features will have colors, icons, everything on the instrument cluster to make sure you know which feature is turned on and which feature is not just turned on but also currently controlling your ADAS. I mean, controlling your car. Okay. So that's basically everything inside your driver assistance options. So XUV700 misses out on rear cross traffic alert and rear cross traffic emergency braking, which I don't really miss. But yeah, it's good to have it, but it doesn't have it. Maybe the facelift will get it. I don't know. But yeah, but make sure you have your auto emergency braking turned on so you can use ACC, and make sure you have your ACC turned on so you can use Smart Pilot Assist. So that's a walkthrough of everything that's available on the XUV700. Now let's move on to the conclusion, where we are going to talk about, is ADAS really practical in India? ADAS works. I mean, it works anywhere, but how practical is it? We'll talk about it in the conclusion. So to conclude, ADAS, India, is it really practical? Are our road conditions good enough for ADAS to work? Two very important points, guys, right? So ADAS in the city and ADAS in the highway. ADAS in the city, in my experience driving this vehicle with ADAS for 25,000 plus kilometers, ADAS in the city is not very practical. I mean, basically, it's not useful at all, right? Let's go through each of the features. I mean, you're happy to disagree with me, but this is my own opinion, okay? Let's say adaptive cruise control. Do you use it in the city? No, not needed at all. Auto emergency braking. Yes, it's very helpful. But in our road conditions where you have bumper to bumper traffic, people coming from all sides of the road, if you have auto emergency braking turned on, your vehicle is going to abruptly brake, and it will not give enough time for the person behind you. So you will more often than not get rear-ended. You need really strong bumpers, but still at the end of the day, you don't want all those headaches of getting into collisions, isn't it? Right? Because people drive so closely at the rear of your car, you will more often than not end up in a hit from the rear, right? So adaptive cruise control, of course, it's common sense. It's not useful in the city. Emergency braking, no, for the reasons I just told. Lane keep assist, of course, obviously not needed. Smart pilot, of course, obviously not needed. High beam assist, nobody drives around in the city with high beam, right? There are people who do that. I don't know what to say about them, but yeah, you don't really need even high beam assist in the city. So yeah, it's there for you to see, right? None of these ADAS features are really useful for you in the city. Let's talk about highway. This is where ADAS features are going to come into picture. Is it practical on our regular highways? Yes and no, because again, let's walk through each of the feature and talk about it, right? Let's say auto emergency braking. This is one feature that is going to be handy irrespective of which highway are you driving: state highways, national highways, expressways, or outer ring road, 4-lane, 5-lane ways. Wherever you are driving, if you are driving on highway, just leave the auto emergency braking turned on, okay? Because in highway anyway, you're going to keep a safe distance from the vehicle ahead of you. In case where you fail to do so, this is going to come into picture and save you guys. because this is not dependent on any other feature. This is going to work on its own, and it is going to be really, really helpful. So just leave your auto emergency braking turned on. So this is a hero no matter what, which road are you driving, unless you're driving in the city, wherever you are driving, this is going to be hugely helpful. Now, ACC, adaptive cruise control. Let's say you bought your brand new vehicle, you really wanted to test it, you want to enjoy the ACC and Smart Pilot, and then you turn on your ACC. The problem is, ACC is going to be very, very helpful on expressways and roads like Outer Ring Road, right? But on state highways and other national highways, you often end up having an average Joe driving on the extreme right lane at 60 kilometers per hour, and he doesn't want to move away. So your adaptive cruise control is going to slow you down to 60 even if you're driving at 90. As long as you're okay with changing the lanes and making sure you end up quickly overtaking the other vehicles, and making sure you're okay to do that, it's fine. Otherwise, it's not that you can just have your adaptive cruise control turned on and not use brakes and not use anything else and not change lanes. No, that's not going to work, at least in our road conditions, because people drive on the extreme right lane, which is the overtaking lane, at very slow speeds. So that way, your adaptive cruise control, the moment you hit the brake, it's gonna get turned off, and you would have to turn it on again. So unless you are driving on extremely open roads, adaptive cruise control, again, it works, but it's not practical. Okay, it's not going to make your life very easy, right? Now let's move on to lane keep assist. So once you have your adaptive cruise control turned on, your lane keep assist also comes to life. And again, the same thing applies. Okay, not going to work in the city, not going to work in normal highways where people drive on either sides at very slow speed. But yeah, it's going to be really helpful again on expressways, on 4-lane, 5-lane highways, on outer ring road. Yes, it's a very important life-saving feature, right? But again, only going to help you in select highways. Smart Pilot Assist, again, a combination of all of these. If you really want to turn on Smart Pilot and not worry about driving, that's not going to happen unless you are driving on these 5-lane, 6-lane highways or outer ring road. Despite having Smart Pilot Assist turned on, you would end up having to intervene and take manual control of your vehicle if you are driving on normal highways, because you have suddenly buffaloes coming, you have sheep coming, you have people driving at extremely slow speeds on the extreme right lane. So if you're buying your nice new brand vehicle with the full ADAS suite, keep in mind that you will not be able to fully enjoy any of these features unless you are driving on extremely open roads and extremely well marked roads. I'm very glad that we are having great roads these days, right? Fantastic expressways, fantastic outer ring roads. Access control roads are still going to be wonderful to drive using ADAS features. But you never know, right? The moment you leave an access control road, you can have vehicles driving in the wrong direction, you can have animals on the road. So yeah, you may end up enjoying your ADAS for a small stretch, but eventually you will end up taking manual control. That's what at least I have experienced in my 25,000 plus kilometers of driving with ADAS on. So that's it, guys. I hope I clarified a lot of the doubts you guys have on your mind. The various ADAS features, how practical are they in India, right? It's not that they don't work in India. They work in India, but if we have a little more civic sense in terms of not driving on the extreme right at 60 and not bringing cattle onto the expressways or highways, yes, this is going to be really helpful. But I don't know, maybe a few years down the line, if there is more awareness among people in terms of driving sense, maybe we will end up enjoying all the features that our vehicles offer. But for the time being, is ADAS a total waste? No, it's going to help you, but it is going to heavily depend on which road are you driving on, right? And with that conclusion, let's end this video. And if you have any questions, put in the comment. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and also ask me any questions if you have any queries. Uh, or if you are trying to purchase XUV700, just shoot me a question. I'll be more than happy to help you guys. With that said, I'm going to conclude this video. More wonderful videos on the way. And I hope you stay healthy and happy. Take care and have a good day. Bye bye.